don't stop. It's like yes, yes, sure. To the beat, sure. When you give it to me, yeah, give it to me raw. When we get together, do we stand, do we fall? Welcome to the Backpackers Ball. Yes.
In 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2. What? Oh, ha!
What's up?
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? What's happening? Welcome to a little thing that we call the Cipher.
Cipher it up.
I am your host, Marcus the Kid Warren, and with me is my man, Muff. How are you doing today, sir?
We're doing fine. You know, I said let him finish out his intro here.
I appreciate that.
Didn't want to step in here. Right now, you know, my man's playing injured a little bit. He's a little bit under the weather.
I'm sick, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's we're going to spare you with our beats and rhymes today. At any rate, though, we're going to get into it because how appropriate to get into something than to get into Reks right now. His thing, straight no chaser. So he wasn't about. He's all about the beats and the rhymes himself. So we figured, why not go into it? You know what I mean? So at any rate, Reks is one of our favorite MCs on the underground. Am I correct?
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Usually his production is off the hook. The last album, I thought we had it nominated for one of the best, you know, better albums of last year.
Yep.
And you know, This or That, we thought, which is a track off the Reks album, self-titled Reks, acronym meaning what is it? Rhythmatic Eternal King Supreme. Is that right?
I think that's something like that.
So at any rate, no, we thought that the album was off the hook. So the new album, Straight No Chaser,
Straight No
we
Chaser.
looking at it like, you know, what does he have, you know, come along with? Because, you know, we know that our man, one of our favorite producers, Static Selector. Yeah, right. Yes, you know, that dude signed. He be signing the hell out of his tracks, don't he?
Yep.
At any rate, he produces the album. Does a pretty good job. I mean, Reks on the lyrical tip, you know, his cadence I think is off the hook. That's what stands out to me.
Okay.
He's got the usual suspects of rhyme partners. You know, he's got, you know, terminology on here. You know, Action Bronson's going to be on here. Action Bronson actually, which is on Drugs and Murder, kills his verse, doesn't he?
Oh, Action Bronson, you can't say more about
that. It's funny because again, what did you tell me when he came rhyming? He didn't know it was him. He thought it was Ghost at first.
Yeah, you know, it takes me a second. Anytime I'm not sure that he's on it because I didn't look at the credits or anything, I'm just sitting there listening to the album. I'm like, oh, we got Ghost on this joint. You know, a couple seconds later, I'm like, oh, Action Bronson.
It's Action Bronson, dude. At any rate, does a great job. Now, the beats on the album. Now, remember when I talked to you, you had listened to the album before I did. You told me the beats were gonna. You told me the album was off the hook.
Yes.
You know, and so I hadn't listened to it yet. So that's what I'm expecting. Now, as I'm listening to it, it's not that it's not off the hook.
Okay.
And to me, it seems like one of those albums that the more I listen to it, I listened to it a couple of times, the better it's going to get with each successive listen.
Okay.
Okay. At first, you know, my initial reaction was like, you know what? This isn't the best set of beats that Static Selector's ever put out. But not that the beats are whack at all. You know what I mean? They're pretty solid. But the way the album was put together, it seems like it gets better each successive listen because it's not like they overwhelm you at first, like, oh man, that's the most incredible thing I've ever heard. And I've heard certain Static Selector beats where I thought that the beats were insane from the jump.
Right.
So they didn't hit me like that.
Okay.
But it's not that they're bad. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward, because I've listened to it a couple times. I'm looking forward to keep listening to it because it seems like it's one of those albums for me.
All right.
At any rate, I think that the album is very good. It's very good. You know what I mean? As far as the beats, rhymes, the cameos are pretty good. The tracks that stuck out to me obviously is you know, Rugs and Murder with Action Bronson, Sit, Think, Drink, you know, which is used that sample from I Sit Back and with the Drink and Think About How I'm Gonna Win. What song is that from?
It's from. It was on the De La Soul album. It was
yeah, I think De La Soul. Okay,
it's to the end.
It's the Stakes Is High album.
Yes.
All right. Like dun dun dun.
Yeah, it was a hot track. But the name of that song, the name of that song.
At any rate, okay. At any rate, we'll be all day thinking about that. Then later on, oh my God, that was the name of the song. That's the second or third track of the album. At any rate, Static Selector actually uses that verse, which I think is hot. Straight No Chaser, the song, off the album, self-titled, obviously, off the hook. I thought that was the best track on the album, Straight No Chaser. You know what I mean? So, no, that beat was off the hook. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good album. Where do you stand on it?
Well, I don't think it was a pretty good album. I think it was an excellent album. I still stand by what I first said. You know, I think The problem with Static Selector, okay? The problem with Static Selector is he's his own worst enemy. He has put out such great product in the past couple of years that, you know, you're expecting to be blown through the wall every time you hear an album, and you might not get that from this album. But I think the beats are still very solid. And then when it comes to Reks, I mean, what can you say about the guy? I mean, he is the hottest dude out spitting right now, arguably, in underground and mainstream right now. I will argue that he can actually, you put any MC up in front of Reks right now and he will crush them. He will kill them. My hat goes off to the people who actually signed on to do cameos on his album because you were just lining up for execution. All right? You know, if I got the call from, you know, Static Selector or whoever, Reks be like, hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, you want me to be on your record, huh?
Yeah. You want to fight Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah. Exactly.
Can I be here tomorrow?
Exactly. Can I get back with you? Can I check my insurance coverage and everything? I want to make sure my wife and kids are okay.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
so
I got the insurance.
Yeah, but God bless him. Everybody who was on that album did a great job with, with keeping up. I mean, everybody on there was outstanding. Action Bronson, so on and so forth. I mean, to me, I thought it was very well put together. I mean, Reks, what can you gotta give it to the man. He's a dope rhymer. He has to be one of the
dope rhymer.
He's a dope rhymer. You know, but you know, and he's a dope rapper. Yeah, you just have to give it. You just have to give it to the guy. I don't want to seem like I'm jocking him or nothing like that. But you have to give credit where credit is due. Reks is the hottest dude out there spitting.
Okay.
I agree with you about him being hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain where I'm at on the album.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and rate it.
Go ahead.
I think if I'm taking everything into account, I'm giving this a solid 3.5 right now.
Okay.
Okay. With the possibility of it growing on me a little bit better, but right now, 3.5 works for me.
Okay.
You know.
I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, at first, my first listen before I listen to the whole track, I mean, I'm thinking, because I was all excited. Look, I said it could be arguably a classic album.
Yeah.
But, you know, after listening to it a few times, after having some time to think about it, I don't think it's that classic album, but I do think there are classic songs on it. I think there are classic rhymes on it.
Okay.
Everybody on there crushes it. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a solid 4.
4. Okay. All right. Well,
Okay.
3.5 from me. 4 from my man Marcus. Okay. Let us know how to get a hold of us, man.
Hey, man, you can get a hold of us at kidandmuff44@gmail.com. That is KIDDANDMUFF 44@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter. We are also Kid and Muff 44 on Twitter. You can also hit us up on Facebook. We are the Cipher Crew. You can also give us a call at 716-55. I'm just joking. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoy the segment. Hit us up. Let us know. Hello?
Oh, we wet.
Need to quit?
Excuse me, y'all. I'm a little bit ill. But look, hit us up. Let us know what y'all think. Reks, straight no chaser. Hey, and you can subscribe to CLB TV and hit that like thingy. Hit the like thingy. All right, Reks, check him out. Why? Because the Cipher said so, son. Peace.
All right.
Every time I write a rhyme, I feel like Megatron going against Optimus Prime for the very last time. Once y'all stand, once y'all fall, let me know you're not appalled. Put your hands up in the air, say yes, sure. We're all gathered to witness the Babylon.